Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do my November and December 2018 manga haul video. I know it's really late, but I was in the hospital for a couple weeks in January due to surgery, and I spent the end of last year preparing for surgery. So I was out of commission for a while, but I pre-filmed a bunch of those review videos for a different series since I knew I was going to be out of commission for a few months. So I pre-filmed a bunch of videos and then had them scheduled to come out so that I would still be releasing content while I was recovering. So basically, I haven't been buying a lot of manga. I'm still on my buying ban currently. A lot of the stuff that I'm about to show you was gifts from other people, or I had gift cards for chapters, so I used them to pay for this stuff. And then a couple pre-orders that I had already ordered earlier in the year. But other than that, I really haven't been buying a lot of manga at all. So that's excellent because I'm trying to save some money. So anyway, in November, I started off with a pre-order. This is Aka, 13 Territory Inspection Department by Natsume Ono. This is volume 5. I believe volume 6 is the final volume, and I'm fairly certain I have it pre-ordered. It comes out the end of February, so this month. Yeah, love Aka. We'll definitely be making a video about it once it's complete and I finished reading it, but that was one that I had pre-ordered. Next is another one I had pre-ordered, Love at 14, volume 8. This is a very underrated series. It's a quiet slice of life story about two 14-year-olds who are seemingly very mature to their classmates, and it's basically just a romance, but it follows a bunch of different couples as well in different romance storylines in their school, and I really love it. This has turned into one of my favorite ongoing series. I look forward to every volume. They come out very slowly, but it's a very good series if you like slow romance, and I don't like the main couple actually at all, really. I don't care for them, but it's all the side couples that are absolutely wonderful. I love reading about. It's just really, really sweet. The art is pretty simple. It's really, really good, and I really enjoy it. Next was another pre-order, Happiness Volume 8. This is by Shuzo Oshimi, one of my favorite mangaka. This volume was not my favorite. It's really disturbing, which Shuzo Oshimi does well. Volume 6 was amazing. It was a wonderful volume, and it's hard to kind of top that. So volume 7 and 8 were a bit of a, I don't want to say a letdown, but they just weren't volume 6. I really loved volume 6. So still really enjoying this series. It's a vampire sort of erotic coming of age story, but it's very interesting to say the least. Next, another pre-order, volume 8 of I Am a Hero, zombie apocalypse manga, almost finished. There's going to be, I believe, 11 of these omnibuses. They're 2-in-1s by Dark Horse. Another great volume. I have volume 9 pre-ordered. It comes out early March, and yeah, I'm excited to finish this series this year, and then reread the entire thing, because I've been reading it as I get them, and it's kind of hard to wait for the next one. And next, haven't read this yet. This is volume 2, the final. There's only 2 of these very large hardcover classic collections of Devilman, put out by 7 Seas. I have read the first volume. I read it for a readathon last year, but I haven't read this second volume. I'm just looking for an excuse to kind of read it. It's very heavy, and I can't really use my arm very well right now, so this one's kind of waiting until I'm feeling a bit better to be able to hold it and actually read it. So yeah, I also have to be in the mood. This is a very particular type of story, very gruesome, very sexual, or a lot of nudity and whatnot, so just got to be in the mood. I haven't read it yet, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it when I do. Next, volume 9 of Waiting for Spring came in November, and this is a shoujo series that I'm really, really enjoying. it's a simple one. It's not anything groundbreaking or whatnot, but I'm really enjoying it. I love the characters. Everybody's gorgeous, and it's just fun. And it's got a bit of a sports element too. It's got some they're basketball players, and uh, it's just another like ordinary girl is with all the popular boys kind of thing. But it's it feels a bit different. I don't know why, it just does, but I really really enjoy it. The characters are lovable, and all the guys are lovable. There isn't anybody that I dislike, and I think that's why I really love this. There aren't any stupid side girls that suck or anything like that. So yeah. And the final thing I picked up in November is Wotakoi Love is Hard for Otaku Volume 3. I have not read this volume yet. I recently read Volume 2 for the 24-hour Manga Love Readathon hosted by Shay Geeks Out, but I haven't read this volume yet. I like to kind of be slower with these ones because of just the pacing in this it kind of feels like snippets of comedy, so it's harder to just sit down and binge read this, I find. So yeah. Also, it's going to be a while, I think, before the next one comes out, so I'd rather just kind of slowly read it than read it all at once. And next, for December, first thing I picked up, I had this pre-ordered way in advance. I Hear the Sunspot Limit. This is volume 1 of Limit by Yuki Fumino. This is out by One Piece Books. A smaller publisher, but I like the quality of their books. I think they do a good job, the few things I have by them. So I Hear the Sunspot was originally just a one-shot story, which then had a sequel called I Hear the Sunspot, Theory of Happiness. Now this is a third installment, I Hear the Sunspot Limit, which apparently is going to have multiple volumes to this arc of the story. But yeah, it's very good. It's a boys' love story, but it's more tame. It's not a yaoi. There's no like explicit sex in this at all. It's just a story about these two friends, one of which, this guy here, is, I think he's hard of hearing. He's pretty much entirely deaf for the most part. And yeah, so it's a story about disability. It's a story about coming to terms with sexuality, and just kind of being in love and trying to navigate that as adults. They are college students / working. So yeah, it's an adult story, a boys' love story, and a story about disability that is handled very delicately and very realistically. And I really love it. It's very, very good. I would say if you like a silent voice, you're absolutely going to love this. I prefer this over a silent voice personally. But yeah, this feels more real to me. I like the way that this one handles that topic a lot better. And I think it's just it's well written here. I enjoy this one more than a silent voice. So I hope more people pick this up. Next, I found a few things used. First of which, there's a bit of nudity on this cover, so I apologize in advance. This is Monster Men Buriko Lullaby by Takashi Nemoto. This is the word is escaping me. It's not mainstream, basically. Gekika work. I can't show you anything in here because obviously based on the cover, you can tell that this is extremely explicit. It's kind of a comedy as far as I understand. Very gross and just ridiculous. But I'm really happy to own it. This author has a short story in the Axe alternative manga book that I also own. Oh, yeah, it's an alternative manga. That's an easier way to say it. But yeah, I haven't finished reading this. I've only read a little bit of it. It's really gross. It's really disturbing. I'm happy to own it. I will eventually read the entire thing. But yeah, you have to be in the mood for it because the humor is it's pretty bad. Bad in a way of just uncomfortable. But yeah, I'd never seen it before, I'd never heard of it, but I was intrigued to see it in my local used bookstore. The other thing I found that day is Barefoot Gen the day after. This is the second volume of the series. This is by Keiji Nakazawa. It's the story of the Hiroshima bombing. And this is a different edition than I've ever seen anywhere. So I don't know. I overpaid for it. I don't know why I bought it. I should have just went and bought the ones that are still in print that are nicer. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did buy it. I did read it. I'm glad to own it because it is very important. It's hard to read because it's quite graphic in its depiction of the bombing and radiation and different things like that. But it's important, and maybe one day I'll own the whole series and actually read the entire series, but for now, I just own volume 2. And the last thing I found at the used bookstore that day was The Mummy's Curse. This is a Kindaichi case files volume. There's a bunch of these stories. They're all self-contained, but they're all the same character. Like, I guess he's a detective or something. Haven't read this yet. Manga Hoarder had recommended this specific volume of this compilation of manga, saying that this one was really good. I have seen this for over a year. It's been sitting at the used bookstore. I see it every time I went in, and I kept going, maybe I'll get it next time. And then I finally decided to just buy it because I'm sure I'm going to like it. I just have to be in the mood to read something like this, so haven't read it yet, but I'll definitely give you my thoughts on it once I have. Next, back into some pre-orders and stuff. Horimiya Volume 12. Not much to say about this. I love this series, continue to love this series. I hope it wraps up soon because I think that it doesn't need to go on for a million volumes, but yeah, this is Volume 12. Owl Horror Ride, Volume 2. Super duper stoked about this. I read it immediately when I got it. I don't have Volume 3 yet, unfortunately, but really, really love this series, so happy to have it. Next is Volume 3, the final volume of After Hours by Yuta Nishio. This is a Viz release. This was their first foray into girls love manga. I did make a video about this if you're wondering about this series. I made a first impressions when I originally got Volume 1, and then I recently made a full series review of this. Next, Volume 6 of Silver Spoon. I don't think I've read this volume yet. I can't remember. But I've talked about this before. I believe I've made a first impressions video of it. I've talked about it many times. Funny. Definitely check it out, especially if you're into like situational comedy. They're on a farm at a agricultural high school, and it's hilarious. Next is That Blue Sky Feeling, also by Viz. This is a boys love series. Very cute. I've made a first impressions video on this. Volume 2 comes out very soon, and I'm super excited for it. Also, very thick. This is like 240 pages rather than the 180 standard page kind of volumes, and it's regular Viz price, so it's a really good deal. Next, Escape Journey, Volume 1. This is a new yaoi series. There's going to be 3 volumes in total, I believe. Volume 2 is currently out. Volume 3, I think, comes out in June or July or something, if I remember correctly. I'm going to make a video on this once I have the whole series and once I've read it. I have a problem with this series. I enjoy it. I am enjoying it. I'm hoping I will enjoy the other 2 volumes as well. There was a scene in this that I really, really, really did not like. Yaoi has a tendency to have sexual assault in it, just as a theme that just happens a lot. This one, I felt, took it too far. I don't know. I was really uncomfortable. But everything else in it was wonderful, and I really liked the rest of it. And I find myself with Yaoi always having to kind of just overlook the terrible stuff. Um, but yeah, I'll continue to buy this. I really enjoyed the characters. Again, it's adults, which I like, rather than just teenagers. So, yeah. Then, Volume 5 of The Girl from the Other Side. I have not read this one yet. I got this as a Christmas present. Yeah, I'm enjoying this series. I really like it. I just haven't gotten around to reading this one yet. And then finally, After the Rain Volume 2. This is an omnibus put out by Vertical. I have made a first impressions video of the first 2 omnibus volumes. You can go check that out on my channel if you'd like, if you're interested in this series at all. And then finally, I think I got these both in November, but I did get a couple anime series. One was, I found The Count of Monte Cristo, Gankotsuo, the entire series. I think it's 24 episodes, sorry, they're in the flat pack discs cases. And this is a series based on the story of the Count of Monte Cristo. I watched this like 8 years ago or something like that. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. Maybe it was like 6 or 7 years ago. And I enjoyed it. It's bizarre. It's like vampire space, Paris, France, really weird artistic patterns and stuff happening, but really good. I'm halfway through rewatching it now. Still enjoy it to this day, I guess. I didn't have much expectation for it, but it was really cheap at the place that I found it used, and for 24 episodes, the price I paid for it, I figured even if I didn't like it, rewatching it, then it would be worth it. But I am really enjoying it, so I'm glad I picked it up. And then next, I got Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World, the complete series. This is the remake, obviously the recent one from I think last year. And I really loved this. I watched it when it came out originally and knew that I was going to buy the Blu-ray as soon as it was released. I love this art on the cover. This is about Kino, who travels to different districts and stuff, and only spends 3 days in each place that they visit on the anthropomorphic motorcycle. It's really interesting. It is violent. It is disturbing at some points. It's interesting because it's a very slow-paced slice of life, but it does have violence. It has different stuff going on because each place that Kino visits is very different, and they have their own laws and their own rules and everything. And, you know, some of them are just kind of disturbing places to be. But I really loved it. The animation is beautiful. The music is beautiful. Everything about this series I absolutely love. I know the manga just started coming out here. I may or may not be picking that up at some point. But yeah, I loved this anime series. I never watched the original I think it was from the early 2000s or something. There was a different anime series. It's all based on a light novel series, I think. Maybe it's not light novels, maybe it's just regular novels. I don't know. But yeah, loved this anime series. I rewatched it already when I bought it and really, really enjoyed it and glad to own it. So anyway, that is everything I picked up in November and December. I will be making a video probably maybe end of February or so, maybe end of March. I don't know how many. I still am not picking up very much stuff, so I don't want to make a video with only like 5 volumes in it. But I did get some stuff in January, have got a couple things in February already, so I'll make a new video with a new haul video at some point here soon. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of the titles that I showed here, please let me know, or if you've read or watched any of this stuff, definitely leave it in the comments. I want to chat about it. So thanks for watching. See ya.